If you've played Ranked in League for more than 10 matches, you probably got a little mad at some point. Some a bit more than others. Mad at your teammates, mad at your own performance, at the matchmaking, the elo system, the game itself. Point is, this game has such a way to get us fuming, doesn't it? But there's two things that pop up incredibly often when people complain about the ranked system itself. It's the MMR system, and it's the way the game only considers wins or losses as a way to measure your individual skill as a player. Since they are both very contentious topics, I'll give them the due amount of care and talk about them separately before giving an opinion at the end. First, let's talk about MMR. And no, I'm not talking about LP and ranks. You see, the way League's rank system works is a little funky. You have LP, which are the points you get whenever you lose or win a game. That's what determines your rank. The cool little border around your icon and champion card that for some reason looks best when you're gold and only gets uglier until challenger. Then you have the thing that truly matters in the long term. MMR, which stands for Matchmaking Rank. It's a hidden score that also fluctuates according to your wins and losses. However, it's separate from LP since it operates on a simpler elo system. It's easy to explain it with an example. Let's assume a perfect world in which you gain 20 LP if you win and lose 20 LP on a defeat. Both your LP and MMR will fluctuate. However, if you have a total of 10 LP in Plat 3, for example, you gain 20 LP on the win, but if you lose only 10 LP and be at 0. It's called a demotion shield, and it's usually the thing that desynchronizes your LP from your MMR. It's much more noticeable if you're about to get demoted to a lower rank. Let's say you just got promoted to Plat 4. After this, you could go on a 20-game losing streak and stay at Plat 4, 0 LP. As far as you can see, your rank is the same, but since your MMR has been in freefall all this time, what happens is that your LP gains become skewed. You'll be gaining 13 LP on a win and losing 28 on a loss, and that's what drives players to say an account is doomed. MMR is also the score that determines your teammates and opponents when searching for a game. So if your MMR is very far away from your rank, you'll notice that everyone else is either lower or higher ranked than you in the lobby. That's the reason why you're usually the highest ranked player in the lobby if you're on a losing streak, and why you're always the lowest rank if you're smurfing. MMR fluctuates on a different rate than LP, and since it's hidden, it's hard to figure out for the average player. When I first did my placements this season, I botched every single game and ended up in Silver 1. But since I had a high MMR from playing in the preseason the year prior, I skyrocketed through the ranks and didn't even have to play promos to gold. This is also one of the reasons why so many smurfs exist. It's much easier to make a new account and climb quickly than to try and fix the MMR on an old account. So this is one of the frustrations that the system itself brings. But there is another, and if you've browsed the League of Legends subreddit for a while, you know this all too well. I always win lane and lose the game. Why does my bot lane always lose? Why is it always a jungle gap? Why do my solo laners AFK for the first 20 minutes? These kinds of rant posts have been around ever since the game first released a ranked mode, and it's easy to see why. If you're always consistently performing well every game, and your team is consistently nullifying your efforts and practically trying to lose, why should you be penalized? Is it fair that you have to play hundreds of games just to statistically prove to the system that you are good enough? That is where this very controversial solution comes from. What if ranked took your individual performance into consideration instead of being based solely on wins or losses? That way, if you lose a game in which you went 5-0, 70% kill participation, most farm, highest vision score, highest damage to objectives, then your MMR loss or LP loss would be mitigated. On paper, it's already plenty contentious, isn't it? But there's a very practical problem. First of all, how do you measure individual performance? Is it by KDA? Well, supports and split pushers are screwed then. Map pressure can't properly be accounted for in an automated system like that. Sometimes the 1-7 Scion who's been split pushing all game is the reason why the team won. I mean, the Baus goes 0-14 consistently and is still challenger with a positive win rate, and I doubt any automated system could tell if he's actually trolling and getting lucky or if he's carrying the game in an unconventional way. The site op.gg has a scoring system that assigns points to players considering their performance in the game. So it's fair to assume that if League were to officially implement something like that, they'd use a somewhat similar model. That one, however, is also imperfect, because you could go the entire game AFK farming, buying control wards and placing them in your fountain and get a perfect score. Meanwhile, the guy who's been trying to make something happen and wants to do plays with the team is always dying and having to give objectives due to the numbers disadvantage and will get a lower score as a result. All in all, League is a very complex game with many ways to accomplish a win. Just being a good, consistent player is already good enough to secure a 50% +1 win rate. If you go through a losing streak, get your MMR thrashed and can't fix it, Most people are right to be frustrated, but in my opinion, that's just a part of the process. If you cannot climb on a 50% win rate, it just means that all you need to do is just get a little better. A consistently good player keeps their rank. A consistently improving player grows their rank. The other reason why I personally don't think basing LP and MMR games on individual performance is a good idea is that League is still a team game at the end of the day. Sure, the ELO system was made for chess, a 1v1 game where only individual performance matters, but it's the system we have, and it's the system that made League and other competitive games so successful for this long. Basing ELO games on individual performance drives players away from a team mentality and turns the game into even more of a 1v9 wannabe fiesta where everyone wants to play Katarina and Yone, because if they play Galio or Oriana, their MMR would most likely tank. Everything that makes League into more of a team game, for me, is something good. Teamwork and cooperation is what makes this kind of game so fun and fulfilling. If I only cared about myself performing and my own individual merit as a player, I'd be playing Guilty Gear. Not League and Rainbow Six. Hell, now I kind of understand why people like team sports so much. Brings a tear to my eye, even if I haven't touched the football field in at least 5 years. So, what are your 2 cents on this? Do you like the ranked system as it is? If you could change one thing about it, what would it be? Leave your answer in the comments. A functioning ranked system also needs to have a balanced game to work around. In this video, I explain why League is such a hard game to balance properly, so give it a watch if you're curious. Hope to see you there, and thank you for watching. Cheers.